Hello, I'm Talentam VOTC channel. I don't know if you can hear it raining. It's raining really hard outside my window. But I wanted to show you not only the new Funko Pop, but I wanted to rant briefly. Because it just reminds me uh, how pissed I am about something with the Halo franchise as well as FPSs. So first off, I want to talk about FPSs. I just don't care about first person shooters anymore. Like most of the games now that I play are RPGs. I've even gone back playing Bethesda RPGs, Obsidian ones. I've been playing, of course, BioWare ones. Then there's, of course, other games like my friend's into Marvel Rivals right now, so of course there's that. Even Fortnite. I would rather third person shooters. I love Gears of War. And I am looking forward to E-Day. I actually downloaded Gears of War recently so I can record that for the channel, and I do want to do more Halo for the channel. But, like, oops, sorry, I accidentally kicked the stand. But, just shooters are kind of dead to me. The only two I care about right now or looking forward to is Doom, The Dark Ages, and Metroid Prime 4. That's pretty much it. When it came to Halo, COD, and Battlefield, I just do not care anymore. I gave up on them. There were so many terrible games. And I know COD is technically doing better than them, and it's ironic that that's the one that's somewhat the reigning king now of first person shooters, as Battlefield is dwindled off. I don't care for that new future one or whatever the frick. I should rank each of the COD and frickin' Battlefield and Halo games right here. But yeah, and another thing I want to talk about. So I prefer the Silver Arbiter because the Gold Arbiter, even though it's the most money on eBay and stuff, uh, and it's not like there isn't a good reason why, but I prefer the Silver because Gold only reminds me of the pain that happened with Halo 3. I think that Halo 3's story is the sloppiest of the original trilogy of Halos. But Halo 3 at least makes up for it for having really good, solid multiplayer and introducing us to Forge mode. However, that does not excuse some of the just really stupid freaking story decisions. Arbiter was such a well developed character in 2. 2 had really well developed characters. They were really good there, as well as it also had memorable dialogue. At least Arbiter in Halo 3, with Keith David having the little amount of lines he had, at least made up for it for just having memorable lines in general. Where it's so easy, frickin' trade one villain for another. Uh, when the prophet of truth is speaking, and he's like, "So you must be silenced." Like stuff like that. Like at least he makes up for it for having some memorable lines to say. But like that one scene where Arbiter and Chief are back to back, can you imagine if they started out, and they do technically do this, but something feels like it's very much missing from Halo 3, where there's just not much character development or growth that shows that they actually show they're becoming more of allies. They just kind of go through the things that they do. At least he is a cooperative partner, but still, that's not much. He doesn't really say much otherwise. Arbiter is just tossed aside. It's kind of like I'll use two examples. Halo fans got so pissed off about focusing on the Covenant side of the story. They wanted more of their beloved Master Chief when they actually created something kind of magical for the Halo series, and then they just threw it away for the fans. And all I'm thinking with that is the frickin' the one line from Halo 2, the prophets have betrayed us. The prophets have betrayed us. But yeah, all I'm thinking of is that line. The prophets being the fans. In that situation. And it's just freaking sad that the fans were like, oh, we don't like Arbiter, focus on Master Chief. And I'm just like, I mean, cool, but wouldn't it be cool if they got buddy buddy with each other and then that scene where they're back to back actually feels earned instead of out of nowhere, honestly? There's also the fact that frickin' Johnson gets killed by the Jar Jar Banks of the games, in my opinion. The Jar Jar Banks 343, what 343 is named after, ironically. Freaking annoying voice. I know the actor is not bad. The actor is doing a good job, and he's not as annoying as he is in Halo 1 and such, but he got annoying later in the games. If anything, he should have had less screen time. But Johnson died in such a pathetic way, and they treated Johnson like a bitch, a damsel in distress, ironically, throughout the whole game, being like, you're weak and stuff. I know why they left you behind, because you're weak. You were weak, or whatever, however he says it. But so disrespectful and stupid. I love Johnson. Um, and I love Contact Harvest. It's such an interesting book with him. But goddamn, they just felt like Halo 3 had some disrespectful parts. I don't mind it back in the day, and it was a big deal back in the day. It had the same rating as Mass Effect at the time, and I'm like, Mass Effect's a much better game when it comes to the story. This is better multiplayer wise, clearly, but much better like story wise, Mass Effect. If anything, Halo 3 feels more like a 8.75 instead of the 9.75 it got, but whatever. In like Game Informer, I remember seeing it right next to Mass Effect with the same score, and I'm like, back in the day, I was like, okay. And then when I finally played the Mass Effect series, because reverse, I was like, oh, Halo 3 is better. Nowadays, I'm like, no, Mass Effect's better. um, I'm running out of battery on this, so if it cuts off, then it cuts off or whatever. But yeah, they treated Arbiter like Jar Jar Banks of the series and slowly got rid of his screen time in the next game, and then in Halo 3, and then just gave him basically the equivalent of a cameo in the fifth game, which is the worst one in my opinion. Um, just goddamn. I want to rant about that forever. It's kind of like if the fans hated the Splinter Cell fans hated Michael Ironside in Splinter Cell, Sam Fisher, and they decided to freaking shorten his role in the next couple games to the point where he's just a cameo in like the worst one. It's kind of like that. That's how it feels. I know that Master Chief has been the one that was there from the start, and he's still there during 2 and 3, but goddamn, what a betrayal! And it could have been so cool them joining forces, actually having character development and growth between each other, being able to find trust with one another. It would have been cool. And then they frickin' butchered it and made it generic. They even butchered Johnson, making him fricking a damsel in distress multiple times, and then saying that he's weak and all this crap. Just really a shame. Frick Halo 3 sometimes. I think the structure of its level, I actually like the level design. I have fun with the levels and stuff, and I do love that it's a 4-player co-op experience. That is great, finally, that we have that. Um, but goddamn, that story had so many parts that suffered. Hell, even the Gravemind doesn't even really get a chance. That you feel like he's going to be built up as this boss battle by the end, and then that's it. You don't really see him anymore after you save Cortana. It's like, what the frick? And they especially could have had character development with fricking Arbiter and Master Chief. I mean, they show development between the Covenant and the humans, but I don't see any development between some of the main characters. I don't think Johnson so much needs to be developed as a friend to the Arbiter and stuff. We kind of showed that were working together in the last game. 2 really was like lightning in a bottle. And it's ironically an unfinished game, just like Fallout New Vegas and such, that turned out to be a freaking masterpiece. I know that Halo 2 is a sequel baits at the very end, but hey, I still thought overall the game was really good. And that where they were going, it probably did need a sequel, and I am glad it got one, but then it kept getting that. And the dawn of the 343 age of games, which is some of the least best Halo games, which led to me not giving a crap about Halo anymore, even. But I still go back and play once in a while the original couple of Halos 1, 2, 3, Reach, whatever. Even though ODST, even sometimes Halo Wars, which isn't a first person shooter, but an RTS game or whatever. Um, Call of Duty, you don't care about. After they had stuff like Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, um, Modern Warfare 3, the new Modern Warfare 3 and stuff. I can't even remember the name of some of them. I think Vanguard was one. It's like, there were so many just god awful CODs that just like World War II. I know there's fans of World War II. I just think a game that's more generic and meh is actually worse than the actual bad game sometimes, because at least a bad game, I can remember it for how bad it is. I don't remember anything from a game that's just generic and just mediocre at best. So that sucks. And Battlefield, of course, with 5 and the recent one stuff, I'm just like, I don't care. Hardline, even. Hardline was freaking dog crap, in my opinion. I don't know. FPS games have just kind of faltered. We only have the Dark Ages. That was the Dark Ages of first person shooters, but I'm talking about looking forward to Doom, the Dark Ages, and looking forward to Metroid Prime 4. So, even though I've heard about the prices of some of the Nintendo games recently, I still only have hope in those two games. So, unless COD, Halo, and I know Infinite technically isn't a bad game. It does do a lot of good. It's definitely the better of the original, the 343 games. At least I mostly think so, baby. But it makes a lot of the same goddamn mistakes Halo 5 made. You know how Halo 5 gutted the local multiplayer. It didn't have Forge until later. It frickin' still didn't have playable elites or anything else. And they still don't have Arbiter also. Just yeah, Halo Infinite made a lot of the same mistakes as Halo 5. Maybe not story wise, but definitely like multiplayer and such. And technically, while they don't have requisition points, they do have microtransactions. So yeah, just no. Um, I just don't care. I'm still gonna play the older Halos. I'll probably dabble because I do have Infinite to play on my console, but whatever. There's no local play. There's no freaking. There wasn't Forge for a while. I'm trying to even remember some of the other things they took out. There were other things that they were promising that didn't come to fruition the same way they had with Halo 5 problems. But whatever. I'm done talking. Uh, if I had to say a favorite of each of the games, I think that Halo 3 is the best multiplayer, but Halo 2 is the best campaign, in my opinion. Halo 2. Then Call of Duty, I like Modern Warfare 2, the original one, and I also really love World at War, as well as Black Ops 2. And then for Battlefield, Bad Company 2 or 3, I even kind of like 4. Yeah, it's really between those. But if also Halo 1's a classic. Halo 1's just a classic. Even though those graphics are outdated, there's just something very charming about them that I still love and come back to. But yeah, I even have my copy of frickin' Halo Combat Evolved up on my frickin' windowsill up here. Yeah, and I have my Halo 2 Collector's Edition by on my frickin' bookshelf over there to my left, but whatever. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Remember, if you did enjoy, like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments below and tell me what your favorite COD, Battlefield, or Halo game, even if it's multiple, are in the description or in the comments below. Sorry. And you have an awesome day. Whoops, I hit the thing again. Bye.